cast their vote for what ultimately will be our next premier. All this week on the Morning News, we're speaking with the leadership candidates, and this morning we are joined from Calgary by Jim Prentice. Mr. Prentice, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good to talk to you again.
Great to be with you.
Why don't we start, I guess, with what we've been talking about for the past 2 weeks, and that is the use of government airplanes. There's been a couple more stories this week regarding family members flying on those planes. Just give us your thoughts on the whole issue with the government planes and how big of an issue that has been throughout this campaign.
Well, certainly there have been issues about the airplane since the beginning of the campaign. I've made it very clear that these planes need to be used for government business. One of the first things I would do would be to sit down, Shay, with the Auditor General and get his thoughts and decide how to move forward, and that would happen quite quickly. But what I've heard from Albertans over the course of the campaign is that they want to move forward. They want a lot less politics, and they want a lot more good government in this province. And it's been a great summer for me. I've been able to crisscross the province. I've been to over 750 events over the summer, and it's been a great opportunity to speak with Albertans.
We'll talk a bit about that in just a minute. First, though, you mentioned politics, and there has been allegations from the other candidates that there's a lot of politicking going on here, people being given tips about other ministers, and perhaps it's coming from your camp. Your response to that? Do you know anything about how these leaks are being given to the media?
No, I have nothing to do with those. It's, I have no idea. These things are rarely tea parties, but, at this point, we're down to a vote that's going to take place this weekend. Albertans are, I think, an incredibly hopeful, province, and we want to move forward. We want good government in this province. I've been as disappointed as anyone. That's why I'm running. I'm not from the government. I'm not from the cabinet. I'm not from the caucus. I'm a tax-paying Albertan who's been disappointed by the government we've received, and that's, in fact, why I'm running.
When we did a forum about a month ago, you and I and the other leaders, and I was stunned by the fact that the whole part about trust came up once at the beginning of the forum, and then that was it. We didn't hear about it again. On the campaign, how big of an issue have you found it to be? Are there other issues that Albertans concerned about that are being overlooked here because of this?
Well, the issues, I think, are very clear. Trust certainly is one of them. I think people are very concerned about our fiscal finances. They're concerned about the issue of trust. They're concerned about our economy. They're concerned that, we need to access global markets and to sell our commodities if we're going to get global prices. They're also very concerned about the infrastructure deficit in this province and the quality of public services we have, whether we talk of public health care, public education, how we take care of our seniors. They know that we've fallen behind, and they know that the only way to solve these issues really is driving leadership from whoever is the Premier of Alberta.
If you do become Premier of Alberta, can we expect to see a large-scale change in the inner circle? I mean, a lot of the MLAs will still be there, of course, until the next election, but you're campaigning on a campaign of change. So what can we expect to see if you do win this Saturday?
If I do win, there will be no doubt that Alberta is under new management, and that'll be apparent from the get-go. I've made it very clear there will be a dramatically different cabinet. It will be smaller than the existing cabinet, and I've made it very clear that it'll be reflecting generational change, and that the people that are in the current cabinet will not necessarily, as of right, be in the new cabinet. So people will see it immediately, and it'll flow from there.
And obviously that goes back to the issue of trust. How do you go about restoring the trust? I mean, that will be the major issue facing your party going forward. How do you go about doing that with all that's gone on?
Well, you restore trust, one person at a time. People know that I'm not from the government, that I'm running as somebody from the outside, as I say, a tax-paying Albertan who has been disappointed and wants to see change. And so people will see that. They'll see it immediately. I trust to the judgment of Albertans. At the end of the day, the public gets it right every time, and so, they'll get it right this time. But they'll have a period of time to see a new government, a new premier, new leadership, and I think they'll see exactly what they're looking for, because I've been to every corner of this province over the course of the summer. I know exactly what Albertans are saying and what they want.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to Saturday night, as I'm sure you are, and we appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much. Great to be with you.
Thank you very much.